Federal Public Safety Minister David McGuinty said during a press conference in Manitoba on Tuesday that the cooperation, participation, and teaming together that Canada and the U.S. are doing against the fentanyl crisis has him feeling confident in the U.S. government, saying that together they could, quote, wrestle these challenges to the ground.
We're getting this job done. We're going to be really wrestling this fentanyl scourge to the ground. It's a tragedy for so many families. Where will we be in 29 days? That's up to the president. We're going to continue to manage the relationship we've had with the United States for 150 years as best we can. We owe it to the Canadian people. We owe it to the American people. And the fentanyl crisis is one area where we have joint cooperation. The measures that were announced yesterday are very much about cooperating between our countries and between ourselves here in Canada. That's why some of these measures are already underway. Some of them are starting this morning. They're going to be rolled out in the next week or two. So we are convinced good efforts will prevail, good faith and goodwill.
Mr. McGuinty says that the country's new fentanyl czar position will serve as a liaison between Canada and the U.S. on cross-border efforts to curb fentanyl traffic. The Globe and Mail's Temur Durrani was one of the journalists who was on the press trip with the minister in Manitoba, and he has more on what is being done at the border.
Minister McGuinty was here in Manitoba yesterday, and by here I mean he was near the border doing a show and tell with a bunch of reporters, which he says is not a show and tell for Mr. Trump, but it kind of obviously came off that way. It was just showing people, hey, look, we're taking border security very seriously. There was a real big demonstration, a big hoopla around showing how one machine is able to look at different substances to see whether fentanyl exists in them or not. It was a kind of demonstration for these different politicians, including Manitoba Premier Wabkanu, who was there, Terry Duguid, who's the federal minister responsible for the prairies, and Winnipeg area MP Ben Carr. So a bunch of politicians basically trying to show, hey, look, again, we're at the border taking this very seriously. What we learned about the fentanyl czar there, though, is not a lot. We learned sort of things that, you would expect, which is that there's a lot of responsibilities being put on this one individual, but we don't know exactly when this new fentanyl czar will be hired. We also didn't learn any potential names for it yet. Again, these are all questions we posed to the minister. He said we'll have more to say on this matter in the next few days or by the end of the week in the case of any potential hires. It'll take a while yet. So the way that he's describing it is this, again, when I say a lot of responsibilities, this will be a person who will work with name a department and he or she is going to have to work with that, kind of a thing. And so there's a lot happening. There's a lot riding on this person. They're going to have to work with China and Mexico, according to the minister. They're going to have to work with Health Canada's laboratories on, there's a lot of different things at this point that this minister is telling us they're going to have to work with. We at the Globe are reporting, this is through my colleagues in the Ottawa Bureau, we're reporting a few different names. At this point, we're hearing about retired General Wayne Eyre, the former chief of the defense staff, as a potential choice, but we are also reporting that no decisions have been made. At this point, that's likely because, again, there are no real sort of good ways to go about this, right? At this point, I think a lot of people, there's going to be, whoever this person is hired for this, they're going to have to, really be the person that we convince Mr. Trump is the right person for this. And that's a lot, it's convincing an entire, White House administration that's hell-bent on imposing tariffs if we don't convince them. And they could go in every different way, as we've seen over the course of the last few days. So it's a lot of responsibility on this one person.